Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Springtime in Paris. This is Miss Dior Goes to Paris in the Spring. This video is inspired by Dior and Paris, the city of lights in springtime, and this is what I think the living, breathing embodiment of a Miss Dior would wear in Paris in the springtime. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. When I think of what a Miss Dior would wear in Paris in the springtime, I think of a fresh, clean face, nothing too heavy, correcting some minor imperfections, keeping the eyes very light, and a beautiful red lip. So for the eyeshadow palette, I am using the Dior 5 Couleurs Couture in 559 Poncho. This is a beautiful harmony of beige, brown, and neutral shades. I will not be using that many colors. I am just going to very softly define the eye, and that's going to be it. I am using a big fluffy brush, and I am very loosely going into that dark color, and I'm going to apply very little of it in the crease here, and I'm just going to blend because this is supposed to be a very light, fresh, naturally beautiful Parisian chic makeup look. Then I'm going into the center shade very lightly, just to add a little bit of brightness on the mobile lid here. And this will be perfect for a day of running errands, catching up with girlfriends at a coffee shop, and maybe catching a fashion show or two. There are some exquisite gowns going down the catwalk, so we could go ahead and catch that later this afternoon. Going back into our dark matte color and using a very fine pencil brush, I am going to press some of this dark color as my liner on the top lashes here. This will give a very soft, light look to our makeup look. It won't look quite as heavy or as intense as a black liner. It's going to look very natural, which is the goal of this entire look. We are going to look so effortlessly chic and so natural. Except for the red lipstick, we will look like we're not actually wearing any makeup, which is the goal. My lips are a little bit dried, so I'm going into my very faithful lip maximizer in the shade 001. There is a little bit left at the bottom here. This is a hyaluronic acid infused lip gloss plumper. There are many shades to choose from, but the 001 reacts to your lips' natural pH and just enhances your lips in a very beautiful, natural way. Using the little pencil brush from before, I am going to very gently add a little flick to my liner here. It's going to be a very subtle cat eye liner, nothing too big or dramatic. It will almost look like one of my lashes curling up, but actually it's a little bit of liner. In the inevitability that things do not go according to plan, use a handy dandy Q-tip. And then I'm taking a little bit of that exact same dark brown and I'm tracing it on the bottom of my lashes as well. This eyeshadow palette is eyeshadow and liner. It's a multitasking product, which is phenomenal. Now I'm dipping into my Dior Show mascara in black, and since we're traveling to Paris, I am in fact using a little travel size mascara. I love this mascara because it gives me a fake lash effect. I like the look of fake lashes with mascara. I can't really stand to wear false lashes on myself, but give me a good mascara that replicates fake lashes and I am very happy. Moving on to the complexion, I am going into my Dream Skin. This is part of the Capture Totale skincare line, but this Dream Skin primer serum is a beautiful makeup primer. It blurs pores, it blurs imperfections, and it gives a bit of radiance as well. And I have my little travel size with me for travel today. And then I'm going into my corrector. This is the shade 2WP. It has a bit of peachiness, which I enjoy because it sort of cuts and corrects any blue tones you might have from jet lag. But this is the older formula. I know that they did a reformulation recently. I haven't picked up the new version yet, but I'm still enjoying this older one here. So that's all I'm going to do today. I think that travel has been kind to my skin and there's no need to add a foundation if you don't need to. I did take the Capture Totale Super Potent Serum Foundation with me for my travels, but I don't feel like wearing it today. I do enjoy this foundation. It's a serum foundation and it does feel like it's a blend of skincare with foundation, but I just don't really need that much coverage today, so it's going to stay in the bathroom vanity for now. I always enjoy allowing my concealer to set for a few seconds before blending. This just allows for more coverage. So if you have a concealer that just isn't giving you the coverage that you want, let it sit on your skin for several seconds before you blend. You will find that it covers a whole lot more. I'm going to go ahead and add a bit of powder to my complexion. This is the Backstage Face and Body powder. It's the shade 3N. Normally I don't always go in with a powder, but this one here is really exquisite. I believe it's water-based or gel-based. I'm using the same brush from before. I just wiped it off with a bit of, or I wiped it on a tissue. But this one here, if you have dry, dehydrated skin, mature skin, you would love it. If you have oily skin, this is not the powder for you. It isn't exceptionally mattifying. It's almost a bit more of a blurring powder, but it's incredibly hydrating because I enjoy it with my dry, dehydrated skin. But if you have very oily skin, this is not a powder for you. For my blush, I'm going into my Dior blush 459 in Charnel, which translates to Carnal. But if you look online, it looks very brown. It's more of a blush that met a bronzer in a Your Cheek But Better. It's a beautiful shade, so that will be today's blush look. Apparently, these are being reformulated this year, so we should go to Les Galeries Lafayette and see if they have the new blush formula available for us to go shopping. Let me know where else you'd like to go shopping today. I'm thinking Les Galeries Lafayette because I want to see that beautiful store and see what cosmetics they have. But then afterwards, I was thinking we could go to Le Cimetière Père Lachaise, see some celebrities, and then let me know where else you'd like to go after. I wiped off a bit of the excess of the lip maximizer, so now my lips are just hydrated and not too glossy. I was contemplating adding a bit of highlighter to my look here with my Nude Air Luminizer 001. This is an older formula. They have repackaged this, but I prefer this one here when it was all metallic instead of having plastic. But this is a beautiful highlighter, but I think that the primer and also the satin finish of the blush, I think those are sufficient in adding a natural glow. Let's go ahead and dive into the lip. I'm going into the classic Dior 999. This is a classic beautiful red lip. I have the lip liner in 999 and I have some version of a limited edition satin lipstick here from a few years ago, but this is just 999 in one of its many different versions. They have this in satin, they have this in matte, they have it in bullet, they have it in liquid. It's really everywhere. This is the namesake red of the brand. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my lips completely with the liner and then go over top with the lipstick. Layering the liner and then the lipstick on top will assure that our lip color stays in place all day, regardless of how many coffees or pastries we have along our walk today. And in order to complete our look, we must go into a fragrance. So for this Miss Dior look, I'm going into Miss Dior. This is the Eau de Parfum. I quite like this perfume, but The version that came out 2008, 2009, 2010, that is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. That was my first perfume. That was the first perfume that I purchased for myself as a young woman. So that version is my absolute favorite. I like this one. It's nostalgic. It smells sort of similar to that version, but not quite perfect. But anyway, I will wear it and it will be beautiful nonetheless. This fragrance is sweet, it's powdery, it's fresh, it's floral. It's more sweet and floral and fruity. There is vanilla in here, some tonka bean. There is a little bit of that syrupy sweetness that I love, but it's also quite floral as well. It has peonies and lilies of the valley and violets as well. So it's not too sweet, but because it's an eau de parfum, it is going to be a little bit heavier, a bit more robust. And this fragrance here was created by François de Machy, who is no longer with Christian Dior for their perfumes. And now they have Francis Kurkdjian, who is not my favorite perfumer, but I think a lot of other people are fans of him. One thing I do enjoy from this new version of Miss Dior Eau de Parfum is that there are more stone fruit notes. So like apricot and peach, just, it's like a sweetness, it's fruity, but it's not too caramelly. It's not too syrupy, so it's quite nice. And this is my take on Miss Dior Goes to Paris. If you have not seen the film Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, I highly encourage you to watch it. It is so incredibly delightful and enchanting and endearing. And if you would like to transport yourself to Paris, please watch the film Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I think you will find it very sweet and very charming and heartwarming at the same time. So do yourself a favor and go watch that. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope I gave you some inspiration on some of the products you have at home and how to utilize them. I really like this very fresh eye look. There's a little bit of eyeshadow, but it's sort of meant to look like I'm not really wearing any makeup except for my red lip, of course. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took the time to like today's video. If you are not subscribed yet, I highly encourage you to do so. I talk a lot about luxury beauty, a lot of Dior, a lot of Chanel as well. So if that is the type of thing you think might interest you, I strongly suggest you hit subscribe. And on that note, that is all I have for you guys for today. So thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.